I want to thank Chrissy, Nadia, Kitty, and everyone else that was involved in creating this amazing event for having me and hosting all of us here. And I want to thank everyone in the audience, and especially the 10 finalists here, to become part of this amazing Thought for Food movement. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I stole this quote behind me from TFF, but it really reflects what I want to talk about today. I'm not different from any one of you here in the audience. Alone, we're all stars, but more importantly, together, we're everything. So I don't want to bore you with all the global challenges because we've been going through them a lot yesterday, and probably all of the finalists will talk about them again today. So I just want to say that we live in interesting times, and I think that our generation and everyone here in this room definitely needs to be part in the change that we have to create in this world. And the topic that I'd like to talk about is food, of course. The question of how to feed 9 billion people by 2050 is a big one. And if it's 9 or 10 billion, we don't know. But there are going to be a lot more people on this planet, and we have to find innovative ways of feeding them. So the question of how to feed 9 billion people is the question that was asked this year by TFF. And it was also the same question that was posed in the TFF Challenge in 2013 when I took part in it with my team. What really got me into food was a book by a professor called Dixon Despommier. He studies microbiology at Columbia University, and he wrote a very interesting book called The Vertical Farm. So I read this book about 5 years ago, and it absolutely changed my life. So for those of you who are not familiar with what vertical farming is, it's essentially layers upon layers of crops stacked on top of each other, put into a closed environment, so you can optimize every single input factor to grow plants extremely efficiently. Vertical farming offers a number of tremendous benefits. And some of them are year-round production, independent of season, pesticide use, climate, and region. You have local production, leading to even higher vitamin and mineral contents of food. On top of that, you can reduce fertilizer use by up to 60% and water use efficiency by up to 98% compared to traditional outdoor agriculture. You reach 2 to 3 times faster growth rates and higher yields. Because the food is extremely fresh and produced locally, it has a longer shelf life, and it tastes better. So these are some of the things that got me inspired and got me involved in vertical farming. So when the challenge started in 2013, I tried to come up with a way of bringing this technology to the masses and creating awareness for it. So I started a company called Agrilution. And yeah, I can relate to a lot of the teams that are here today that it's not always easy when you become an entrepreneur and you try to do something good for the world. It's not easy to find money. A lot of people don't take you serious because you're too idealistic with what you want to do. But you always have to look for inspiration. And something that really helped me over the course of the last years is a quote saying, "Take paths that no one has taken before you to leave tracks." And you got to look for these things. You got to look for inspiration everywhere because you go through these downs and ups, and it's not easy. But the thing is that when you have an idea that you want to share with the world and that you want to get out there, an idea that you want to turn into reality, you shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. You should talk to anyone you can about it to get as much feedback as possible, because most people don't have time to copy your ideas anyways. So our idea was bringing this vertical farming closet into every home. And it started in late 2012. And the first sketch I did on on Word, which looks super crappy. But yeah, then I looked through my network, through friends and family, and I found an old friend that I used to play basketball with, who was good at 3D animation. So he designed the first sketch. And based on that, without CAD, without any skills, we bought an old closet and we built our first prototype. And I want to thank Mick and Nick, who are in the audience somewhere, who built this first thing with me. And that's how it all got started. So we got a lot of feedback, we tested the product, and then we built a second version. And with that second version, we took part in the TFF Challenge 2013. And it was an amazing experience. And I have to say that TFF really was sort of a launch pad for agrilution. That's where we got so much inspiration and everything took off. And we became runner-up in last year's challenge. And yeah, it was the coolest conference I've ever attended to date, but it's even cooler now. Like, you really did it again. Yeah, we got a lot of inspiration from that event, and it carried us over the past months after the event, but then we sort of had it down because we split ways with our first investor because he was solely focused on profit and money, return on investment, and didn't buy into the vision and the mission as much as we did. So probably some people here don't agree, but in my personal experience, it's more important to have a great team and a great network than to just focus on money and look for money out there. So yeah, after that dip, we split ways with the investor, and we looked for new opportunities to find support, to grow the team, to grow the network, to raise money. And we got into an industrial design program with the Technical University in Munich, who helped us design the third version of the so-called plant cube. It's a fully automated device that lets you grow a large variety of leafy greens, herbs, even strawberries in your own home. And you can remote control it with a smartphone, so you don't need to know anything about plants. And since it uses a lot of these controlled environment agriculture technologies, your plants taste better, they're fresher, they're healthier, and you have them in your home whenever you want them. This is what it looks like when it's built into a kitchen. We got a lot of support. So after this industrial design program with the TU, we got into a Climate Kick accelerator, which is basically a support accelerator for innovative, sustainable ideas in Europe, which helped us a lot, and it expanded the network again. It got us some funding and bridged the gap. And yeah, we got in touch with loads of other cool initiatives that supported us. And yeah, I have to come back to that point that it's extremely important to have a good team and a good network. And the money will come. So another good example of this is the Association for Vertical Farming, which I also started with Nick and Mick Henry, who is also here in the audience, and 4 other people. And the idea behind this was to sort of offer a platform for all the companies, universities, professionals that are involved in the topic of vertical farming. And the idea behind it was to create awareness, to create a platform to collaboratively push this technology further. And it started out by creating this map. We mapped all the vertical farms that are out there in the world. So to date, that's roughly 150. Most of them are still in Asia. And all the little spots on the map are vertical farming projects, either for research or for commercial production already. And the bigger icons are members of our network. So we have companies such as Philips, the German Aerospace Center, and 23 others to date, along with 80 professionals who are really top-notch in this area. And anyone of you here in the audience who's interested in the topic of vertical farming, I'd encourage you to join our network. We offer resources. We have the first global glossary on the topic for vertical farming, and we want to help you get started in this topic. So apart from that, we organize events. The first one we did was last year in Munich. It was a vertical farming info day that was sponsored by the city of Munich. Then Henry organized an amazing collaborative workshop in New York end of last year, and we're replicating that model in Vegas in March. We're co-hosting an event called Global Forum for Innovations in Agriculture in Abu Dhabi. And yesterday, I got an email that we got the signature from a Chinese governmental institution. And here, Angel is in the audience, who's been helping with that a lot. We get to host our first event in China, in Beijing, in May, which is really big. So, yeah, I have to come back to what I started with. Yeah, times can be tough. You go through ups and downs, but you should never give up. And don't be afraid to start something radically new. You have to believe in your ideas and really push them further as far as you can. And even if you don't have money and if you don't make money off of yet, it'll come, because we're all here to make the world a better place together. So thank you for becoming part of this amazing TFF community, this TFF family, and I'm really looking forward to all the pitches. Thank you.